Hi. Now I'm going to talk about scholarship for my T&P portfolio. Scholarship is tough in athletic training because athletic training itself only became recognized by the American Medical Association as a healthcare professional field in 1991. And so prior to that, scholarship had never really been heavy in our field. So I went to undergrad in the early 2000s, and research wasn't a thing. That there was one journal of athletic training that got published 4 times a year, and that was really the only place where any new scholarship or research articles about athletic training came out. So since then, a lot has evolved in the last 20 years, obviously. And so scholarship is up and coming, but it's still not really hardcore research like double-blind experiments. There's not a lot of those going on in athletic training in the field, in the clinical field. Baylor Sports Medicine down in Houston has a whole wing to it, and there's some up-and-coming PhDs that are doing that kind of stuff. But actually in the field, there's not a ton of research going on. So although I have done a little bit of scholarship, I helped publish a journal for the International Coaches Journal that got published earlier this year in 2020, but it took 3 years to write, and that was just for coaching standards. And I've done a couple unique case studies about things I've seen in my practice as an athletic trainer. Although I've done those things, I've really tried to concentrate more on student scholarship because I feel like the best way to get more scholarship and more research in our field is to help our upcoming athletic trainers learn how to do it. Because let's be totally honest, like, research is scary. If you are not a researcher at heart, nobody wants to do that. They look at it and think, I don't want to write and write and write, and I don't want to do those things, and I don't want to go through the IRB. And so one of the big things in this program with me is that I require all of our students to do a research project. They get to pick it. They get to pick their topic. They can do something as simple as a case study, but they can also do an experiment. They could do survey research. They could put in for full board, which several of my students have done that. But then they also find out how difficult it is to get that approval and to get it all done with the year and a half that they're here on our campus after we go through the research methods class. So my real focus in the last 2 years has been on student research and how to get our students to be better researchers and therefore feed their scholarship for their CV. So when they move on from here, they have something on their CV or their resume when they're trying to get their first job that sets them apart from other applicants for that job. And my answer to that is research. So I've guided a lot of student research over the last 2 years. We have 9 presentations that have been at regional conferences through the Southwest Athletic Trainers Association, which is really our only conference that we can go to as athletic trainers that we can share our scholarship. That's not the next level, which is our National Athletic Trainers Association conference. So that's where our students are presenting. I would love someday in the future to maybe get into the Texas Academy of Sports Medicine in their presentation and get my students to have their application for their scholarship and research there at that conference. But right now, we've kind of found our niche, we found our groove, and we've done really well with those 9 student presentations. That's not to say my other students aren't doing research, they are, but theirs might not have been accepted for presentation and then publication in the conference proceedings. So scholarship is tough. I feel like this is room for improvement for us. For me personally, definitely I can get in on more research projects. Now that accreditation of the program is out of the way, I feel like maybe I'll have more time for that. But I love writing up maybe some quick case studies that come our way. I actually just had one published last month. That was one of our men's basketball players here had a bowel intussusception, and so we did a case study on that, and it was accepted for oral presentation and publication through our Southwest Athletic Trainers Association. So my research front is strong, but I think it could be better, and that's something I would like to focus on more in the future. To piggyback on that, the research methods class that I teach, I've done a full revamp for this coming year, especially thanks to, one, COVID, because now I have to use Canvas better, but also Berlin has really helped me, and then my course design consultation team has helped me to just really flesh out my research project requirement for my students, and so I'm really, really excited to see how that turns out this year. And I'm hoping that we get even more publications out of this cohort, and so that will really help on the research and scholarship front.